You open your banking app. You wince. You don't even want to look at the number, do you? You've been working, you've been grinding, you've been trading 40, maybe 50 hours of your life every single week for a paycheck that hits your account and then vanishes. It's like a magic trick nobody enjoys. You look at Instagram. Everyone is in Tulum, or they're driving a G-Wagon, or they just bought a fixer-upper that costs more than your parents' entire lifetime earnings. And you're sitting there, maybe eating takeout you shouldn't have ordered, wondering, am I the only one who doesn't get it? Here's the cold hard truth. You aren't bad with money. You were just playing a game where the rules changed 5 years ago and nobody sent you the new manual. You were trying to run the boomer blueprint. Go to college, get a job, buy a house, retire at 65, in an economy that is actively hostile to that timeline. You feel like you're running on a treadmill that's slowly inclining, right? That's not in your head. That is the design. Today, we are going to tear down the financial lies you've been fed. We aren't talking about skipping lattes. Buying a coffee isn't why you can't afford a house. We are going to talk about the actual math of wealth in the modern American economy. We're talking about why your salary is a trap, why buying a home might be the worst financial decision of your 20s, and how the tax code is written to punish employees and reward owners. Buckle up. It's time to fix your financial life. Let's start with the elephant in the room, the American dream, specifically the obsession with buying a house. If you ask your parents or your uncle at Thanksgiving, they will tell you rent is throwing money away. They'll say you need to build equity. Is it though? Let's look at the math, not the emotion. In the current market, with interest rates hovering where they are, buying a home is often financial suicide for a young professional. Let's say you buy a $500,000 home, which, let's be honest, in a major city like New York, LA, or even Austin, gets you a glorified closet. You put down your savings, you lock in a mortgage. For the first 10 years of that 30-year loan, look at the amortization schedule. You aren't paying for the house. You are paying interest to the bank. You are paying property taxes to the county. You are paying insurance. You are paying for the water heater that explodes on Christmas Eve. That is dead money. It's the same as rent, it just has a different name. When you rent, you are buying patience. You are buying the ability to move across the country for a 30% pay raise without having to sell an illiquid asset and pay 6% agent fees. The wealthy don't buy homes to save money. They buy homes because they are rich enough to afford the luxury of stability. If you are in your 20s or early 30s, your greatest asset is mobility. Don't anchor yourself to a zip code because of an outdated cultural script. Unless you plan to stay in that house for 10 years, or unless you can rent it out to cover the mortgage, math usually says rent, invest the difference in the S&P 500, and sleep soundly while your landlord fixes the roof. Now, let's talk about the second trap, the appearance of wealth. You see it every day, the BMW in the driveway, the newest iPhone Pro Max every September, the designer bag. We have a crisis in this country. It's not just an income crisis, it's a spending crisis fueled by insecurity. Marketing has convinced you that a luxury car is a status symbol. It's not, it's a liability. Let's run the numbers on a new luxury SUV. You drive it off the lot, boom, you just set $10,000 on fire. That's depreciation. Over 3 years, that car loses nearly half its value. If you finance that car, you are paying interest on an asset that is depreciating. That is the definition of wealth destruction. You are paying the bank for the privilege of losing money. The rich? The actually rich, not the Instagram rich, they love depreciation. But they let you take the hit. They buy the car when it's 3 years old. It looks 95% the same, it drives the same, but the first owner paid for the steepest drop in value. Financial engineering isn't rocket science, it's just ego management. If you can suppress your ego enough to drive a used Honda or a 3-year-old luxury car instead of the brand new one, you have freed up $500 or $800 a month. That's $6,000 to $10,000 a year. Invested over a decade? That is a down payment on freedom. But saving money isn't enough.
You can't save your way to wealth if your income is stagnant. You have to play offense. Here's where most people get stuck. They wait for a raise.
Your boss doesn't care. The company's goal is to get the maximum output from you for the minimum cost. That is capitalism. Don't be mad at it, understand it. If you stay at the same company for more than 2 years without a significant promotion, you are losing money. Inflation is eating your paycheck. The market rate for your skills has likely gone up, but your salary hasn't. The biggest financial hack for Gen Z and millennials isn't crypto, it isn't drop shipping, it's job hopping. Data shows that staying in a job yields an average 3% raise. Switching jobs? 10% to 20%, sometimes more. You need to view yourself as a business. Your labor is the product. If one client, your employer, won't pay market rate, you find a new client. You need to be mercenary about your career capital. But there is a darker side to income. Taxes. Did you know the tax code is essentially a rule book written by business owners for business owners? If you are a W-2 employee, you are taxed on the first dollar. You earn money, the IRS takes their cut, and you spend what is left. If you own a business or even a side hustle, you are taxed on the last dollar. You earn money, you spend money on business expenses, your laptop, your home office, your travel, and then you are taxed on what is left. This is why you feel broke even making 6 figures. The system is designed to squeeze the W-2 employee. I'm not saying commit tax fraud, please don't do that. I'm saying you need to understand the game. Utilize your 401k and HSA to lower your taxable income. Understand tax loss harvesting. Wait, do you know what tax loss harvesting is? Most people don't. Let's say you bought a stock and it tanked. It's down $2,000. Most people hold it, praying it comes back up. A wealthy person? They sell it. They realize the loss. Why? Because they can use that $2,000 loss to offset gains elsewhere, reducing their tax bill. They turn a mistake into a tax deduction. Now let's talk about the plastic in your wallet, the credit card. In America, the credit card system is a tale of 2 cities. For the financial elite, credit cards are a subsidy. They get 2 to 5% cash back. They get free flights to Europe. They get airport lounge access with free champagne. Who pays for that?
The person carrying a balance at 24% APR is paying for the rich person's free flight. It is a wealth transfer from the financially illiterate to the financially savvy. There are 330 million people in this country and over 1 billion credit cards in circulation, but I'd wager less than 1% of people are actually winning the game. If you carry a balance, you have already lost. There is no investment in the world that guarantees you a 24% return. Paying off credit card debt is the best investment you can make. But if you're disciplined, use the system. Put every single expense on a card. Collect the points, pay it off in full every month. Never use a debit card. A debit card exposes your actual cash to theft and gives you 0 rewards. It is a tool for suckers. So, where does this leave us? You're navigating a minefield. Housing is expensive, cars are wealth traps, taxes are high. What is the solution? It starts with the emergency fortress. You are one bad day away from ruin. A layoff, a car accident, a surprise medical bill, because we all know the American healthcare system is designed to extract maximum wealth from you when you are most vulnerable. You need liquidity, cash, sitting in a high-yield savings account, not a checking account earning 0.01%, a high YSA earning 4% or 5%. If you don't have 6 months of expenses saved, you don't have freedom. You have anxiety disguised as a lifestyle. You cannot negotiate a salary. You cannot quit a toxic job. You cannot take a risk if you are living paycheck to paycheck. Cash buys you the ability to say no. Once you have the fortress, you need to automate your offense. The S&P 500, it's boring, it's not sexy, it's not going to make you rich by next Tuesday, but betting against the American economy over a 20-year period has historically been a losing bet. Set up an automatic transfer. The day your paycheck hits, money moves. It goes to your investments before you even see it. If you see the money, you will spend the money. It's human nature. We are wired to consume. You have to outsmart your own lizard brain. And finally, let's talk about what you should actually spend money on.
We've bashed cars, we've bashed houses, we've bashed designer clothes. So are you supposed to live like a monk, eat rice and beans until you're 70? No, that's miserable. The point of money isn't to have the biggest number on a screen when you die. The point of money is to facilitate a life. Spend money on memory dividends. Travel, experiences, concerts. When you are 80 years old, sitting in a rocking chair, you are not going to remember the iPhone 15. You aren't going to remember the nice countertops in your kitchen. You are going to remember the trip to Japan with your best friends. You are going to remember the nosebleed seats at the concert where you lost your voice screaming the lyrics. Those memories appreciate in value. The joy you get from recalling them grows over time. A material good depreciates. An experience appreciates. If you are going to be irresponsible on experiences. Look, the system is rigged. It is designed to keep you in debt, keep you working, and keep you buying things you don't need. The banks want you to carry a balance. The car dealerships want you to focus on the monthly payment, not the total cost. The government wants you to be a W-2 employee. You have to wake up. Stop looking at your finances with emotion. Stop looking at what your friends are doing. Most of your friends are broke. They just hide it well. Look at the math. Optimize your taxes, job hop for income, rent for flexibility, buy used, invest the difference. It's not magic, it's just mechanics. You can win this game, but you have to stop playing by the old rules. So, open that banking app again. Don't wince this time. Look at it. That number is your scorecard, and now you actually know how to play.